that's one of the more versatile players in the NFL. Bijan Robinson, more than 230 yards from scrimmage, setting a new career high for his young career as the Falcons get a huge win over the Bills at home on Monday Night Football.
Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, this is what we do week after week. Where are they? We take the sky cam, we fly up to them under their lights. Can you guys wave? Oh, there we are.
Of course, Dan's going to wave
Dave's
like that.
right. Lewis is like, I'm too cool for that.
Lou's too cool for all that.
I know,
Lou's
guys.
too cool for all that.
Thanks for joining us. Look, if you look back at this game, Buffalo obviously had multiple chances in the second half. They were driving there at the end of the game. They had their chances. Why were they so unsuccessful if this is, to be believed, one of the best teams in the NFL?
Yeah, look, the difference between the line between winning and losing is a blown coverage, as you saw on the last drive, a drop potential pick six by Shaq Thompson on the last drive. They're also a little bit shorthanded. Josh didn't play his very best game. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You know, in the NFL, this league is designed for parity and for games to come down to one-score games, you know, maybe 10-point games. And then you also got to give Atlanta credit. This is a football team that's improved, and they got a lot of young thoroughbreds, and they were on display tonight.
I'll touch on Buffalo quickly. Yes, the injuries are no question a storyline because you come into this game, you're down two starting perimeter players, and then Josh Palmer goes out. And so if you're Joe Brady, the play caller, you've got this shrunk-down package of a fullback and two tight ends that you can go to. The play that stands out in my mind is that 3rd and 1 after they had come out in the second half, score, get the stop, and they go on that little drive, and they try that jet sweep to Elijah Moore. And in my eyes, that's going to be something that Joe Brady, who's a great play caller, wants back because put it in your quarterback's hands, put it in James Cook's hands. At that moment, you're starting to gain momentum. It ends up being a turnover on downs to Atlanta, and Atlanta, I think, just took control of that second half again.
And also go figure, that was Elijah Moore on that little jet sweep. Usually that's Curtis Samuel, who was injured tonight. So you can just see how just little changes in terms of personnel and maybe kind of a misfire in terms of strategy. That's how these kind of games get away from you.
Sort of becomes a domino effect in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to hear from Josh Allen coming up shortly here on SportsCenter. But let's turn it to the Falcons for a minute because they deserve the praise, as you mentioned, guys, in terms of what they did in this game. And they have a trio now of some really young, talented players. Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback, obviously, Bijan Robinson, and you got Drake London. That threesome right there from an offensive standpoint in a couple years could be the premier threesome in the league. What are they building there from an offensive standpoint early on in their careers?
I think their offense is very unique in the style that they play. They're in that shotgun and pistol all the time. Let me say this, America, Bijan Robinson will be in the MVP conversation within the next 3 or 4 weeks, and certainly in the Offensive Player of the Year conversation. He is an up-and-coming absolute superstar. We got a lot of really good backs in our league. Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's just as good as any of them. And they run their offense through him. And so they've been looking for Michael Penix to gain some consistency. We saw that tonight. Drake London has, for a couple years now, been one of the best interior slot receivers in the NFL, a matchup nightmare. But this is a coming out party on national television on Monday Night Football for Bijan Robinson. And again, his name is absolutely going to trend into that MVP conversation the remainder of this season.
This team reminds you a little bit of like how ideally you want to build a football team in college, meaning you want to ideally have it be a bunch of recruits who kind of really adopt the pride that comes along with wearing the colors because that was your first team. And that's what they have. They have a bunch of homegrown talent here, guys who are draft picks. On the defensive side of the ball, they haven't even scratched the surface. You know, guys like Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., you know, those are guys who are going to be foundational players along with Michael Penix and along with Drake London and along with Bijan. And as you see these guys just continue to stack wins, and they've got one of the most dynamic head coaches in the NFL. I mean, Raheem Morris, I mean, he's electric when you talk to him. This team right now is trending this way. This is a big statement for them tonight.
What's the ceiling for them this season with where they are right now in the development? What is the ceiling for them?
Before the season, I thought they were a legit dark horse contender in the NFC. Because, Nicole, they've got all the makings of it. Can you block up front in your run game? Absolutely. Do you have perimeter players that can hurt you? For sure. And Darnell Mooney, their vertical guy, wasn't even there tonight. And this is a defense. Lewis is talking about it, some of the young defensive players. They're just starting to learn NFL football in this system. So Tampa's the king of their division, no doubt. But can this team be a playoff football team this year? If their quarterback continues to play good football, there's no doubt about it.
They just need to stay healthy. need to stay healthy, continue to play together. As you see right now, even though Buffalo had their chances to win this football game, you just see how much injuries play a factor in what offensive and defensive coordinators can do, especially in crunch time. And that's what they need. If they can keep these young guys on the field and continue to develop them in real time and game action, that's why you love the NFL.
Hey, guys,
on any given Sunday, legitimately.
Real quick before we let you go, I want to spin it back to the Bills for 1 second. Chris Fowler mentioned at the end of the game, they were the last unbeaten team in the league. Now they've lost 2 in a row. We're going to hear from Josh Allen here momentarily, by the way. Level of concern after 6 games, consider what you've seen these last 2.
Yeah, I think it's the ability to really strike and get chunks on the offensive side of the football, down the field. And I asked Josh that yesterday. Remember, I said to him, like, is that the next phase? Is that really where you need to get to? And they kind of brushed it off, but you saw it play out a little bit here tonight. Because when everything gets shrunk down, condensed, it's hard to win if you can't get yardage in chunks.
I don't have a lot of concerns about their offense. They have to get healthy on the perimeter. There's no question about it. They got to play cleaner. This has been one of the cleanest offenses giveaway-wise over the last 2 years in the NFL. So that has to be something that gets back to their roots. My concern has been about their defense. Better in the second half, but teams that can run the football. And I'm looking at Indianapolis in the AFC. I'm looking at New England in the AFC. I'm looking at the Chargers. They could run the football. That run defense is going to have to improve.
All right, now joining us here on
Look at that
SportsCenter.
smile.
Oh, look at him, Drake London, ready for TV, especially on a Monday night. And why not? 10 receptions, 158 yards. Drake, from a game plan standpoint, we were talking about that Buffalo Bills defense. What were you guys hoping to exploit when you saw the matchup coming up here tonight?
Any and everything, the run and the pass. We're trying to exploit everything and really ultimately just try to win the game.
Just for you personally, it's another 100-yard game, 10 catches, 158 yards. You had a big game the last time we saw you out there. But to do what you did, not just from you, but Bijan as well and Michael Penix as well, to do what you all did on Monday Night Football, does it feel like a coming-out party? What does that feel like for you guys?
No, we're just playing on a bigger stage, so we showcase to the world what we can do. We usually play at 1 sometimes, so being able to be in prime time, we can showcase that. So, yeah, it's really fun and good.
Well, she mentioned Bijan Robinson. In the first half, he had 100 yards rushing. You had 100 yards receiving in the first half. That's the first time that's happened for a Falcon squad since 1998. Now, Drake, I don't think you're old enough to remember the Dirty Bird era there in the A, but that was a very specific identity for a team that was challenging for Super Bowls. What type of identity are you guys trying to build there in Atlanta now?
Just Swiss Army knife offense. I mean, everybody could do everything. I mean, we got KP, we got Bijan, we got MP, we got Mooney, everybody out there who can do a lot of things on a lot of different levels. So just go out there and just really be Swiss Army knife.
So you're coming in off the bye. You guys are obviously well-rested. You play primetime tonight. You get primetime next week against the 49ers. How do you take the momentum from tonight and travel it with you out to the Bay Area?
Even kill. The highs and lows, you got to take them the same. So we got to go out there and keep on trending upwards and just keep the same demeanor and mindset that we have right now.
Oh, last question before we let you go. Who's running the aux right now in the locker room? Who's in charge of the post-game music?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably.
Who should not be?
Yeah,
JB.
KP?
Oh, who should?
Yeah,
who should not be?
Yeah.
Who do you not want to hear from? Whose playlist you know is whack?
Don't worry, Eves would throw me under the bus. He wouldn't want me to control it.
Probably Tyler Algier. I have a feeling like it's not that great, but I'll go with that.
You do not want those AirPods. You already know they whack. Drake,
congrats.
Hey, we appreciate the time, man. Best of luck next week.
Appreciate you guys.
I mean, it takes everyone. Little details matter. Mine wasn't good enough tonight, and we gotta find ways. We had some God-given opportunities. The play at the end of the half, Taylor Rapp busting his butt to make a play there. The field goal block. We had our opportunities to, take advantage of, and we didn't.
Jack, felt like you were under unusual amounts of pressure. Kind of tell us what was going on there.
Yeah, they had a good plan. Looks like they, came off a bye week and got the game plan us quite a bit. And again, I got to be better and seeing the things that they're trying to do to us and make adjustments accordingly.
Josh, after the blocked field goal, you got the ball down. It was a 3rd and 2, and they called that sort of reverse to Shaquille. Last week, Sean said things got too cute. Does that seem like that kind of a too cute play?
Listen, if it works, it's a great call. If it doesn't, it's not. If we run the ball there just downhill, it doesn't work. It's not a good call, right? Something that doesn't work is not going to be a good call. So we roll with it.
Josh, what coverage did the Falcons in, and how well did they do a good job of disguising it?
Yeah, played some man. Shown quarters and played some man to it. Yeah, we gotta be better.
The loss of Palmer, how did that impact you guys moving forward there?
Not great. Being down Dalton, obviously down Curtis. Guys got to step up in that position, and thought there were some plays made tonight, and but we gotta. Again, I gotta be better for this team.
Second straight loss for the Bills. The first game this season, they failed to score at least 20 points. Herm Edwards joins us now. I'm going to ask you the same question I posed to Dan Orlovsky and Lou Riddick a little bit earlier. Because this Bills squad, when they opened the season 4-0, we're like, that's the best team maybe in football right now. Probably they were the favorites to go to the Super Bowl anyway. Now they've lost 2 in a row. What is your level of concern following these 2 losses?
Well, first of all, they lost some players. With that being said, when you watch them now as a football team, it's Josh Allen and Cook, the running back. When they break the huddle on offense, those are the 2 guys that scare you. No one else scares you, to be quite honest. Now, they're good players, but they don't scare you. Right? So when you watch this team unfold, if Josh Allen doesn't do something magical, extend plays, or Cooks doesn't break a long run, how do they move the ball? It's very difficult, and this is what happened to them today. They got off to an early start, and then Atlanta clamped down on them, and they had no answer. Now, Atlanta's not, a top 5 defense. They happen to be the number 1 defense.
Right.
Okay? Believe it or not, see? And people didn't realize that. And what Atlanta does well is they can take the ball away, and they play complementary football, and they can run the ball. And what's wrong with the Buffalo Bills? They can't stop the run.
Can't stop it.
Which is concerning if you look at the upcoming schedule.
Yes.
They do have a bye this week, and then they have to go to Carolina and play Carolina. Now, I realize that there is some question as to whether Chuba Hubbard will be back. However, Rico Dowdle has been running all over every team that he's been playing in the last 2 weeks, and that is, in theory, their next running back on the schedule.
Yeah, and like you say, they've lost 2 in a row. Now they got to find a way to win a game again, because all of a sudden, the AFC East. When we thought the Buffalo Bills will probably run away with this division,
Right.
guess what? Guess who has the same record?
That would be the Patriots.
And guess who's in first place right now?
That'd be the Patriots.
Because the Patriots
Because they
beat the
just
Buffalo
beat the Bills.
Right.
So when you look at the Bills, do you have a firm grasp on who they are? Because if you look at the teams they have beaten, and you look at the records of the teams they have beaten, we're talking about the Ravens. Fine, there might be some questions there because the Ravens with them are and the Ravens without. But the Saints, the Dolphins, the Jets, those teams are not good. And yes, the Bills beat them, but they have lost to the Patriots, and now they have lost to it. So who is this team?
Well,
are they who we thought they were?
They're capable of beating teams they should beat. And you name the teams they should beat. The teams they've lost to are a little bit better than the Buffalo Bills. And you don't want to say that. It's hard to say. It's hard for me. I'm a Josh Allen fan. But now I keep watching them, and I'm going, who scares you when they break the huddle? I don't know. No one, it's like, oh, I don't.
So where do you put them in the AFC right now?
Middle of the pack?
Yeah. And because of that guy, Josh Allen.
And if not because
And
of that, even
they're as
more.
far up as they are because of Josh.
Yeah, because Josh Allen's all of a sudden, he fixes everything for him. It seems like all the time in the game, he fixes everything. And they generally play it close where he has the last possession where they can maybe win the game. But now, all of a sudden, the run is starting to wear him down some.
And it makes it harder on him when you have key players out with injuries
Yes.
as well. So
Right.
you get all those things compounding
domino,
at
like we
once.
talked about with the guys.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah.
You've lost 2 in a row.